Hey there, and welcome back to our channel. On this channel, we discuss mental health with a special focus on borderline personality disorder and dissociative identity disorder. My name is Shell, and today we're going to discuss an article about DID that came out in the LA Times a couple of weeks ago. I found out about the article because it was posted on my Twitter timeline by quite a few different people. It took me a few days to read it because while it had some good reviews, I'm always cautious when it comes to the media talking about DID. Having read it though, I'm glad that I did, and I want to talk about it. It is a short article, so I don't have a whole lot to say, but I thought it was important to highlight. The article opens with the statement that social media has empowered people who live with stigmatized conditions. I thought this was a great positive start to the article. So often we hear how social media is making kids think they have certain conditions. I can honestly say that without the DID online community, I would feel completely alone. Social media allows us to share our experiences with others, especially at times when I feel like I'm faking this disorder. It's incredibly helpful to be able to see others experience the same things that we do as a system. The article then points out that DID is severely stigmatized. It addresses how it is portrayed in the media to be dangerous and fantastical. That's an important point so that readers get an understanding that DID isn't like what they see in the movies. It then talks about a very early documented case in the 1500s, that of Gian Ferry. I've actually been doing some research on this case, and hopefully we'll be getting a video out about that in the near future. The article describes how it was thought at the time that Ferry was possessed, but that modern interpretations identify her systems as being in line with DID. Given how social media critics like to say there's this new outbreak of insert diagnosis they disagree with here, I'm really glad that they brought in some historical references. They then give a brief history of multiple personality disorder as a diagnosis and its eventual name change to dissociative identity disorder. A DID 101 description is then addressed, giving a definition of the disorder and some of the most common terms. Following this is a brief explanation of dissociation, which I appreciated. It talks about how dissociation is a form of the freeze response. When you think about fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, dissociation falls within that freeze response. It also talks about how dissociation can range from daydreaming to full-out blackout amnesia, and also how dissociation is a way for us to escape distressing events. I think this helps take away some of the mystique that can surround dissociation. Especially by identifying daydreaming as a form of dissociation, it can help the average person connect to it. The author then discusses some DID stories from Dr. Adrian Fletcher and Jamie Pollock, apologies if I've mispronounced your name, both of whom contribute quite a bit to the DID community. It circles back to the misrepresentation of DID in the media. It focuses on split, which is pretty commonly disliked by the community. They point out how the person with DID is portrayed as a violent predator. Movies like this spread misinformation and make it look like DID is a condition to be feared. One thing I was pleasantly surprised about the article is it touches on how DID switches are largely thought to be dramatic. It talks about how switches actually can often be more subtle and may even go unnoticed by the system, and most certainly it can go unnoticed by the casual observer. It does bring up the fact that there has been debate about the existence of DID, but argues that there have been plenty of studies to show that DID is real. It's probably the first article I've read that doesn't describe DID as a rare disorder. The article then goes into how DID is treated, and I'm extremely happy that it talks about the fact that final fusion is not the only option. It gives examples of people who do live well with functional multiplicity. The article ends with some tips on what to do if you think you have DID. It does recommend seeking professional treatment, but also specifies that self-diagnosis is valid. At the end of the article is a list of resources to get more information about DID. The list is by no means exhaustive, but does mention resources that we as a system believe to be credible voices in the DID community. Overall, this was an article that was written in a way that the average person would understand. And it's incredibly refreshing to see positive, well-informed articles written about DID. We get such little positive media, which is why I was a little hesitant to read the article in the first place. But it is written with empathy and understanding. I do wish there was a little more detail, but I understand that one, articles are often edited for the sake of brevity, and two, it needed to be able to engage the general population. I will link the article in the description for this video so that you can give it a read. It covers a lot, but it is short and written in a way that is accessible. Let us know in the comments what you think of the article and if there's anything else you wish mainstream media would cover about OSD-DID. Until next time, take care and stay well. Bye.